alaikum my peeps, welcome back to my channel. So for my Friday videos, I'm going to rename it to Islam Talks. So it's gonna be every Fridays, obviously. And on today's video, I'm going to just be talking about things that I have noticed in our Islamic community, no matter where. But I'm gonna just be focusing on masjid, and I came up with 4 things that I've seen growing up and continue to see in my community, and I'm just like, are we doing something wrong and why we're not fixing it? And I just thought that I will speak on it, about those topics, and see that if I'm the only one who's noticing that, or if I'm going crazy, or they're like, you guys are also noticing this or have noticed this. I'm also going to share my thoughts on Sister Amna Khan. As you guys know, that I said that I see her as a role model growing up and starting my own hijab journey, and I even talked about her as being one of my favorite YouTubers in my Get to Know Me tag. And with this new news that she brought up, I would personally say that my views have changed, not entirely, but there are some changes, but I'll speak of that later at the end of this video. So stick tuned if you're interested in that, and let's just get into the video. So I have these things listed, and I'm just going to be reading them off, and then later on going in and just elaborating more on what I mean. So the first issue that I've noticed is like prayer and like how we stand to do our prayers. And then second, me constantly hearing the following: I do not feel comfortable going to so masjid, so mosque, because I do not feel comfortable. Like the issue on race and people feeling like, I want to say it, but if you like go to a most Arab populated masjid, you feel like the Arabs are, you know, looking down towards you or something like that. Next is the issue of our restrooms and our bathrooms being so unclean. And then the fourth, which relates to what I'll be talking about later on with Sister Amna, is how we react when we hear that someone has taken off a hijab or has left the deen. The first topic on the issues on how we stand for prayer and stuff like that. My first issue is that yes, we are in congregational prayers, right? And especially in our time now, we can't really be close together. But the issue I have is that one, we can't keep our lines straight. From what I have done and what I have listened to, what I have seen growing up, what I've researched, is that we keep our line straight with the backs of our feet, right? But what I've noticed is that people line up by shoulder to shoulder, and that doesn't really match up, because some people are shorter, some people are smaller, and when you do the shoulder to shoulder thing, it doesn't really make the line straight. You know, some people will be in the front, some people in the back. It just doesn't make sense, and the line is uneven. If you actually look at our feet, it's uneven. Another thing is that yes, they like to do the shoulder to shoulder thing, but some people just don't know personal space, and they'll be rubbing up against you. I cannot lie, I have done it a couple of times, but I know for myself, if someone did it to me, I wouldn't like it. So I like to keep that in the back of my head, and I would just like you guys to do that as well, because not everybody likes being close to, you know, people, and especially during this time now, we can't do it. I know some of them are really happy. Next that I have noticed is that some people, they like to go and start the line from left to right. But what I've learned is that you're supposed to start the line for prayer right to left, because, you know, we start things with our right, we eat with our right, we do all the things with our right. The only thing we use our left for is to enter the bathroom with and wash ourselves with. So when I see that, and then like some people are so stick-hearted that they want to stay in their positions, in their lines, and don't want to move at all, that you will see that during prayer there are open spaces in the room, and it's not supposed to be like that. All gaps are supposed to be closed. That's why you hear the imam saying, please close the gaps. And I understand that once we start praying, especially in the masjid I go to, once we start praying, people tend to keep leaving or moving to the back and stuff like that, and will continuously keep moving on. I understand that is annoying. It disturbs, honestly, it disturbs people's prayer, and I don't like it personally, and I know you guys don't like it, but we also have to keep in mind that we are taught that keeping the spaces open allows the shaitan and his crew to come in, and we're trying to prevent, you know, shaitan from coming in. I'm not really sure why they say that. I'm not even sure if it's true, but I just believe that it's true. I might get a lot of bashing from others. Honestly, I don't really care, you know. I'm just saying what I've noticed. It might be right, it might be wrong, who knows. I'm just saying it so we can all just be mindful of our prayers and how we interact with each other, to inshallah make us better Muslims. I'm not the best Muslim, but I do try to be, and I try to guide those who I know personally, like at least give them education on what I've learned personally. If they take it, they take it. If they don't, they leave it, right? You can't take a horse to the water and make it to drink the water. You just can't. But you can always share, and someone will listen, and if it's right, it would be prosperous and it will continue on, and that's just what I want to do. That's why I'm making this video. Then next is the phrase that I do not feel comfortable attending this masjid, like whichever masjid, and because I don't feel comfortable. And I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that, especially some of my friends and even for myself, but I don't like talking about it, and I like to avoid it, because I just feel like it creates problem within our community, but it isn't also an issue that needs to be spoken on. And I just feel like it all comes down to the issue on race. Yes, we acknowledge that we all are equal in Islam, but we all have that feeling that, you know, especially if you go to a masjid that is just all Arab based, not bashing no Arabs, but you just have to understand that you guys sometimes, not all, but most of y'all, some of y'all make it really difficult on others of different races to feel comfortable. We feel like you guys are like the best in deen. You guys are, you know, because the deen came from you guys' heritage, you guys are better than us. And honestly, some of us are better than you in deen. I mean, Allahu Alam, you can't really say for sure because you're not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone can be better than you don't even know, and they're from a different race. So you are not to judge, and you're supposed to treat each other respectfully, treat other people of different backgrounds, color, skin color, because with our differences is what we're supposed to use to, you know, create a better society for us. You know, once we're together, united, nothing can stop us, nothing can break us, because this deen, us Muslims, we are better than the non-Muslims. That's what we just need to remember. My next topic, I'm not really sure if y'all noticed this, but me, every single time I go to this particular masjid, even outside, just in general, I just feel like the restrooms are just so nasty to go in. Like every single time I go in there, I'm like praying. I'm like, please, 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 please be clean. I do not want to clean up after anybody. Like, it's become that serious that sometimes I be taking around cleaning materials because I'm just so used to seeing our restrooms so dirty. And I understand that most of them are done by little kids, but I just feel like if that is the case, then you bring your child, you're supposed to assist them in the restroom. Don't let the child go by themselves. Anyone can walk into the masjid, you know, dressed up, we think they're Muslim, but they're not. They could have bad intentions. So you bring your child, you're supposed to keep your child with you. You're supposed to assist them to the restroom, make sure they're doing it, teach them how to be clean. But as I'm saying, not only the children have this issue, I've seen some adults have this issue, and I'm like, bro, it's different how people are raised. Even if you were not raised like how to be clean, if you weren't raised to doing chores and stuff, you're supposed to know that in Islam, you're supposed to be clean. It's all about cleanliness. Like, you can't just go to the restroom and do all of that and leave your business for people to see. Legit, after someone have left that restroom, I've gotten in the restroom stall after they have left, and I'm like, I don't want to be rude and walk out, but sometimes it is just too much for me to handle. And sometimes I won't have my cleaning materials, and I'm like, what do? I cannot go behind someone and go clean it. I shouldn't have to go behind you and clean up your mess that you made. You make sure you flush the toilet twice, 3 times for your bowel movement to be out of the restroom. Spray the restroom if you have to, so this your scent cannot stay in there. Always think of the person coming after you. Would you like to go in the restroom stall and you see all what another person have left behind? I know personally I won't, especially now during COVID. You know, we're all scared of germs, but there are still germs even after COVID, even before COVID. And me being in a healthcare field and doing all this learning about germs and how diseases are spread, I'm just really self-conscious of making sure I do not get contaminated from other people's mistakes, other people's not thinking about being clean in the restroom, because the restroom is already a place filled with bad jinns, who likes to, like, you know, do nasty things. And I'm like, and you're gonna add on to that? I don't see it. It's just not me. Just prevention is better than looking for a cure. If you prevent the issue for yourself and for others, life for everyone will be easier. That's what I try to do. No, I don't like cleaning after other people, but like sometimes the restrooms are full and I don't want to leave out of that, and the person after me will be like, oh, I did it, you know. They won't think about the other person who just left before me. They'll be like, oh, you did it. And I'll be like, no, I didn't. That's why sometimes I just like, you know what, suck it up and clean it. But I should not be the one cleaning after your mess. But if it comes down to it, I would do it, because I don't want the next person after me to see that mess, because it's really gross. It's really gross. Next is how we react when we hear that someone, especially a female, has taken off the hijab, or has left the deen. And I'm like, I don't even want to bring the issue on like the different genders and how it's in, like, how people react to a female doing that or a male doing that, because yes, males have their own hijab code and women have our own, and some are similar. But I just feel like the way we go about attacking others who are in that situation, that they feel like, oh, the hijab is just not for me anymore, because you don't know what they've been through. Some of them might be in a family or in a relationship that don't want them to wear the hijab, but they fought and fought and fought to continue wearing it. But that constant bickering at them, that constant negative thought behind them, made them to feel like, okay, this is overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me, and I can't handle this pressure. And you don't know what they have talked with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala understands their situation, and you know, they plan to take off the hijab. You don't know, and you don't have the right to be bashing each other. We as Muslims have to be the better example for other people, so other people can have the courage to come into the religion, you know, feeling like, oh, you know, I won't be judged. But if we can't do that and we're bashing our own people, how do you expect outsiders to view us Muslims, especially already the media is portraying us in a negative view? You know what I mean? I personally don't like the way people do and go about those things, but I won't lie, I do watch them. But every time I'm watching them, I'm like, why are you behaving like this? Why are you speaking like this? Like, would you like someone, if you were in that situation, someone to speak like that to you, you know? Would you like someone to treat you the same way that you're treating or talking about this person? And I know I don't like people in my business. All right. And but especially if you're like an influencer, you know, you're already in everybody's business, and if you decide to take off the hijab, people have a right to talk about it. But I just feel like it's still backbiting, you know. Just because they know and they see it, it's still backbiting, and we're not supposed to do backbiting in our religion. So yeah, I don't like the way we do things. We just really have to contemplate as individuals. How would you like if someone did this that I am planning to do to this person to me? How would I like that? Go about your life doing that, and you would see you doing the complete opposite, because most of the things that are going on around in this world are not right. And it's just because people lack the idea to think of, oh, well, I like this if so do this to me, you know what I mean? So that comes to all the idea of me coming to talk about Sister Amina Khan. I would admit that I haven't watched in full the entirety of her video. I watched a few fraction of the video, but I just feel like it's gonna be the same message I've heard other YouTubers, Muslim YouTubers say, and I didn't want to hear the same excuses. But also, that's her own journey. I can't judge. So I am going to take time to watch the video. Alright guys, so I have my ears plugged in, and this video is not going to be about bashing. It's just going to be my honest, true reaction, because honestly I couldn't rush the video, because I'm like, I already know what's going to happen, but do I really? No, I don't really. So I can't just say that, you know what I mean? And this is going to be my true reaction, because as I said, I did not really watch the whole video because I just expected the same reaction, but I'm not sure how it's going to be this time. I've also watched other, you know, YouTube influencers reaction, like 𝗜𝗦𝗟𝗔𝗠, and then other YouTubers. I don't know their names offhand. and I can honestly say that I like how they handled it. They weren't really bashing her, like how I expected some of them to do. At least the ones that I watched, like I said, I don't really like watching videos that are bashing people, because we're supposed to be helping others for the benefit of humanity, for humanity. Title is called Change ... So why are you filming it? So how long have you been like this? 3 days ago? Are you are you sure? I mean, I can't judge you. At least she's being honest, right? At least what we can see. Honestly, why do they call like influencers a public figure? I never understood that. But you also created a hijab company, so I don't know what you mean. Create a hijab company because you know your audience is Muslims. That's strange. Okay. I wonder if her comments are there. No. I don't know. They're there. What the heck? Okay, so this comment I'm seeing, right? It's like, you are so beautiful, woman. Just be happy. Forget Islam. and become Christian. Wow. I mean, you can't be disappointed. You can't keep people at high stakes like that, because you never know what they're going through. You never know what they're gonna do. So you can't put them on high pedals. That's true. Yeah. No matter how you're dressed, Muslim, Islamic, like you're not like, it's not like a certain that you're really a good Muslim just because of the way you dress. It's just about your character and like how you follow deen, basically. What does that mean? So you never did a hijab story? Mm. We have our own reasons of why we wear hijab. I get it. People's paths are different. That's true. So you're talking about, you understand that people unfollow you and stuff like that. Basically. That's what you're trying to say. Which is good. At least she knows, she's aware that, you know, some people tend to do that. Is that why your title's called change? I mean, I get people change, but like that is a drastic change. And we're just worried about what is the reason. I guess you're explaining it here, but or what we like. So you just made it towards what we like. Not because you know what's best for us, but because you notice what we like. Honestly, I've never shopped from her stuff. I've always wanted to though. Comment down below if you have, and tell me like how their service is and stuff like that. Or if you're still gonna continue. I mean, you have every right to. I know I wouldn't. If they're setting up that business, why would I, you know? Just because I don't wear hijab anymore doesn't mean I'm not Muslim. And I feel like that's why all this bashing from other people come from, because they feel like, oh, you take off your hijab, you're not Muslim anymore. Like, who are you to say I'm not a Muslim just because I took off my hijab? You know what I mean? So I give her, I see it. Like, why should she stop selling her hijab, doing her hijab business because she's not wearing hijab anymore? Doesn't mean she's not Muslim. I wonder how her kids feel. To each his own journey, basically. Come in my dreams for what? What the? No. Honestly, I'm not too worried about you. I'll still keep you in my prayers for the better, but like, I'm not really worried about you that way, that you're gonna pop in my dreams. Well, guys, I watched the video. I can say that I was not expecting the same reaction as the other YouTubers who have done this same video, but she knows the reason why she's doing it, and we can't judge her. All we can do is just keep her in our prayers, as she's asked us to. I get and understand, but I understand some of the reasons why these videos come about, like why people bash. Some feel betrayed, you know, like, oh, I looked up to you as a role model, and now you're doing this. Why are you doing this? But you also have to remember not to put these people on such a high pedestal that you're like, oh, they can't do anything bad, you know. In reality, we're all humans. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're all gonna do something once in a while. We all sin. So it's like, don't put someone at a high pedestal, because you never know what they're going on, what's gonna happen in the future. So you follow this person for the right reasons, and if you feel by all means that you don't resonate with her, like she was saying, like, all means unfollow her. Stick with her if you feel like there's other aspects that you can learn from her. Like for me, I feel like I can learn from her about her characteristics. I like how well she speaks. I like her accent, and I just like how she eloquently speaks, and how she handles her channel, and how she handles herself in general. And I feel like I can still continue to learn about that, and I can still refer back to her other hijab videos for anything that I want. But I also understand if you feel like, oh, I can't do this anymore, I can't follow her. By all rights, you have all means to unfollow her. You know what I mean? No one's holding a gun to your head. It's like, oh, you must follow her, or you can't follow her. So that's what I'm saying, is that I'm not really shocked about this. I did, if I'm honest, I'm not bashing, but I have noticed in her previous videos, like, you know, like the type of way that she's dressed and stuff like that. But who am I to say it? I kind of dress the same way too, and you know, it's like a new fashion style in Islam. But we all know, truly we all know, that that's not how we're supposed to be dressed. But like, you know, we're all trying to assimilate in the different society we're in. You know, everyone's trying to be like America or the UK, and if you're trying to be like that and assimilate, you're gonna just like them too, you know what I mean? So some people are different. Some people don't really care. Like myself, I try not to care, and that's why sometimes you see that I don't really stick to wearing what's in. I wear what I want to wear when I want to wear. I don't really care. But some people, you know, are not like that, especially those who are influencers. Honestly, I was expecting a video like this from her. If I'm not gonna lie, as I said, I've been noticing some changes, as she was saying, right? So I'm like, this is gonna be like another YouTuber that says the same message at the end after taking off her hijab. Like, I wasn't praying for it, but like, they're noticing these changes. I'm like, yeah, this might happen. Allahu alam. You know, God is the one who guides those to his religion, and he's the best of planners, and he has planned that this is going to happen to Sister Amina, and she has also planned that she's no longer comfortable wearing the hijab. So who are we to judge, right? It's between her and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not us. We can all, you know, talk to her respectfully and send her best wishes, but like, she's gonna do what she wants to do anyways. So just advising, I guess, right? Talking, but with respect and with sense, and hopefully, inshallah, you know, people, you know, will come back. This doesn't even only applies to influencer, it applies to people personally in your life. If you're trying to get someone to wear the hijab, if you're trying to get a sister to wear a hijab, don't go around and bashing her. Oh, like, oh, you're not a good Muslim because you're not wearing hijab. You know, you're not even Muslim because you're not wearing hijab. Like, I don't know where that ideology comes from, but like, as she said, is not your intention. How you are considered a good Muslim is not just by the way you're dressed. It is part of those, but it's not the major way. The major way is your intentions and how you go about doing actions, how you do the things indeed. And if you're sincerely doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yes, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and perhaps learned something, that, you know, don't put people on pedestals, because things happen and you can't blame them if they change their minds and following a particular path they were doing and just change from that path. You know what I mean? You can't judge. And also that God is the one who's in control of everything. He's the best of all planners. He plans everything, and this was his plan for her, so we're not someone to judge. I hope my video has made sense to you in some way, and rewarding to, like, inshallah, help you to become a better Muslim. No matter what path you want to take for yourself, I hope that, you know, inshallah, it's for the best reasons, and you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, you've talked with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know this sounds crazy, but like, you know, you made that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you're going through. As I said, like, people are struggling just to wear the hijab and to keep it on because of the constant negative voices. Even some of them, like, their family members don't want them to wear hijab, or don't even want them to be in deen. And like, we're all Muslims, but like, we're all in different paths. So like, just do you and don't judge other people. Give advice, obviously, you know, speak up. You have a right to speak up, so speak up, but don't do it in a negative way and rudely. Just be positive about it, and for the right reasons. So I am gonna let y'all go. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, to be noticed anytime I uploaded a video, and share. I am going to be changing my upload schedule a little bit because I don't want to be uploading boring videos, same videos over and over again. So for now, I'll just probably just be sticking to uploading Ramadan videos, and then if I'm gonna upload a second, like another video, I will let y'all know ahead of time. Probably in my Monday upload, I'll let y'all know if y'all will expect a third video in the week, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Assalamu alaikum. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do the regular, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.